I'm Cory Booker. You ever hear my name? Cory Booker. I'm not sure if you've heard of me, but I'm the city councilman from the Central Ward, but now I'm running for mayor. Fellas, how y'all doing?
Cory Booker is a 32-year-old first-term city councilman, running for mayor of Newark, New Jersey's largest city.
I'm coming after you.
He's hoping to unseat the longtime incumbent, Sharp James.
So I can't believe that you used to live in a house where you keep the door open, and now you're in a building where you're not even It's outrageous.
Want 1 million locks on your door.
Yeah. Well, that's our #1 issue. And no disrespect to Sharp James, but he's had 16 years to show you what he could do. And anything he could have done, he should have done by now. It's time for some new young blood, okay? Thank you. God bless you. All right, bye-bye.
I've been documenting the campaign for a few weeks now, and I'm beginning to get a sense of how many forces there are in this city, working against his candidacy.
Excuse me a second, my man. Excuse me a second. Can't do it. Can't do it. I'm not gonna let you walk the roads.
Joe, this is ridiculous. Nothing we're doing here is illegal.
My lady, my call.
I think you need to call the police. Let's continue that.
Councilman Booker.
Hey, how are you, sir? I'm Cory Booker from the city of Newark, one of your council.
There's nothing illegal with what we're doing. Sharp's people canvassed here a couple of days ago.
This is not a public building. This is it's public.
Housing authorities? Yeah, you take care of yourself. Bye-bye now.
We're gonna finish this and then we're going down.
They brought in the big brass. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing, sir?
Let's go, guys.
Is this the kind of security they get every night here? Hey, how are you?
Bringing out the deputy chief. That's
unbelievable.
And 12 cops were down here.
It's just so ironic, man. Here's a neighborhood that never gets police protection, but I show up and they get the top brass.
In Newark, I'm discovering, elections are not about media consultants. They're not about sound bites or photo ops. In Newark, elections are won and lost in the streets.
Cory Booker for mayor.
A few years ago, I'd spent some time teaching in Newark. So I was intrigued when I heard the buzz about the election shaping up between Booker and James. They're both Democrats. Elections in Newark are nonpartisan. And people were saying it would be a battle over the future of black leadership in America. But no one was giving Cory much of a chance.
Our focus is grassroots efforts, so we try to skip as much as we can on facilities like this. So what we're basically looking at is where we do all our scheduling, all our fundraising operation comes out of here.
But this is what we're living next door to. They're constantly making black plastic bags. When we first moved into that office, it looked like this.
I have to write this thing. It's so loud here. I gotta get out of here.
We're sort of plugging in a surge protector to an outlet, to an extension cord, to a surge protector to sort of give electricity to the whole place.
That's pretty disgusting.
Oh.
There's an old joke in Newark that the only way an incumbent ever leaves office is death or conviction. But Cory thinks he's found another way.
I have a philosophy of campaigning, which is I walk every street that I want to represent. All I've been doing is in the evenings is walking the streets and talking to people like you. I can't even see you, I'm talking to a screen, but I'll just let you know I'm running for mayor. And the reason why I'm running, 3 reasons real quick, okay? Newark faces real challenges. We have a murder rate that's twice the Bronx. We have almost a third of our people living below the poverty line. And we graduate only about 40% of our kids from high school. There's no excuse for this. This city can be doing so much better for the people that live here.
What did you do?
I'm trying to get people to vote for me. You gonna vote for me?
Oh, yeah. I want to vote for you.
You gonna vote for me?
We'll vote for you.
What does vote mean? It means participating in democracy, trying to make your community better. Oh, ¿de dónde? ¿De dónde?
Él es americano.
Adivina.
¿Americano?
Sí,
es americano.
¿Un americano guapo o no?
Me cae bien.
Gracias. Did I tell you my ancestors come from a small island to the south of Spain?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sometimes you would never get
Called
to see
Africa.
them in any of those.
Oh, small island.
Little rain's not going to stop us, is it? How you doing? What are you doing out this late? It's almost 10 o'clock.
Cory lives in Brick Towers, a low-income housing project in one of Newark's poorest wards. It's the ward he represents in the city council. But he grew up 25 miles and a world away in suburban Harrington Park, New Jersey.
Our parents were very active in the civil rights movement, and we integrated an all-white neighborhood after a big court fight against a real estate agent that wouldn't show us any houses there. I was a high school All-American football player, got a scholarship to play football at Stanford University, where things really took off for me.
Booker breaks free, 15, 10, he'll score! Touchdown, Stanford!
Towards the end of my law school career, I moved to Newark to set up a nonprofit going after slumlords. But I got pulled into politics and decided to run for city council. And amazingly, we won. After I got elected, I moved into Brick Towers because I wanted to stay close to the community that elected me. And every morning when I woke up and when I came home at night, I wanted to be reminded of the reasons why I got into office in the first place.
How you doing, Mr. Booker?
Doing very well.
Yes, sir.
You all right?
Yes, sir. I'm going to vote for you.
Thank you very much.
Definitely.
Spread the word, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right.
I don't want to interrupt your work.
My hands are
That's
wet,
okay.
though.
I'll take a wet hand. It's Cory Booker. Okay.
I like you, but I ain't voting
I
for
hope
you.
you make a change, whoever get in.
All right.
How you doing, Mr.
Well,
Booker?
if you keep putting the same people in there, you're not going to see a change. You're going to get the same result.
Yeah, but we've
Okay.
been hearing that for so long.
How
Mr.
old are you? How old are you, brother?
I'm 41 years old.
Okay, for the last 32 years of your life, you've had the same leadership. Sharp James has been in City Hall since 1970. We don't make change. We let people get down there and create dynasties. You have the highest paid city government in the country. Your city council people make over 100 G's a year when they put in all their perks. Sharp James got into office was making $70,000 a year in 1986, has raised his salary. Now the brother's making over $200,000 a year, and he wasn't satisfied.
That's
He
what
went,
Sharp James
yeah, then he went over and got another job. He's got 2 jobs now. We got brothers looking for one. He's a mayor and a state senator, makes about $250,000 a year. So let's be for real right now. If every politician was on the streets, okay, out there really fighting to make real solutions, okay, and make every politician live in the worst neighborhood in their city, I guarantee the city would turn around a lot quicker.
Today, Sharp James is formally throwing his hat into the ring.
This campaign, from the beginning to the end, as always, is a positive campaign.
I introduce myself to the campaign's press person. I tell him I'd love to spend some time following the mayor's campaign, and he seems receptive. I've never heard Sharp James speak before, but once he takes the stage, it becomes obvious why he's never lost an election.
Sharp James is the real deal. Sharp James is the real deal. Ladies and gentlemen, the mayor and the next mayor of the great city of Newark, Sharp James.
Today is my wish to continue to give something back to the city of Newark that took a poor boy living on Howard Street and South Orange Avenue in one room with a pot-bellied stove, with an outhouse in the backyard, 1 pair of sneakers, 1 pair of pants, 1 t-shirt. And today the poor boy from Howard Street is your mayor and seeking re-election. Let the work I've done speak for me. I don't feel no ways tired. Today, I officially declare myself a candidate for re-election as mayor of the city of Newark, New Jersey.
As I film the crowd, the mayor notices me and says something to his security detail. Suddenly, I'm surrounded by 4 plainclothes policemen.
You had to be authorized to come in here. I was authorized. I want to know who you spoke to, because it's not a lot. That's fine. I'm being real with you. That's fine. That's why I'm asking you to take the tape out. All right, I'm not going to take the tape out. Open it up. No, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to do that. You want to hang out with me? No, I don't want to do that. You have an identification on you? Are you a police officer? I sure am. Okay, well, we'll talk about it when we get outside. We can talk about it when we get outside. Coming out. Where's your car from?
I don't see what the problem is.
I don't see what
I spoke to them.
Either. The mayor said that, can you just escort them out?
I
That's
understand.
ain't no
Okay.
question about
Okay.
it. Let's go.
Hang with Cory. I've been shooting Cory. It's an election, and I'm trying to cover the election. He's not our guy.
No, I was going to confiscate his film. I need to see identification.
Okay, can I see some identification from you? You're a police officer?
I sure am.
Okay.
He said don't tell.
Okay, and so you need to see identification from me because why?
We all police officers, we want to see some identification. That's all we want to see.
Okay, and you're sure that you can just ask people on the street for identification?
Sure can.
Okay.
They write down my home address and license plate number. I'm baffled. I call the mayor's press person and explain again what I'm doing. He apologizes and says he'll talk to the mayor. But my follow-up phone calls and faxes go unanswered. And I soon discover that I'm not the only one having trouble for spending too much time with Cory Booker.
I opened this place up in '97. I never had any problem. Until Cory Booker came to my house one night. He wanted the people in the community to get to know him that didn't know him. So I suggested I have like a coffee clutch at my house and invite 15 or 20 people over. So I had one Sunday night. And like I said, that Monday, police came saying that I wasn't legal. And they closed my business down.
You can go to any place in the city and you can find the violation.
Pablo Fonseca used to be the head of code enforcement for the city of Newark.
If you're in the city, you have to be very careful. You know, if you take on Sharp James, everything is at his power, is at his behest. He can make your life impossible.
He was also Sharp James's campaign manager in the Latino community.
2 years ago, I supported a candidate Sharp James did not like and did not back. And even though I was protected by civil service, he brought me up on charges and demoted me. From supervising a $4 million budget to supervising 2 people in a sanitation garage. That's a reality check on politics. That's politics 101. And it was, wow, what the hell? I sued the administration and won, and I joined the Booker team.
Jimmy Mitchell joined the Booker campaign too, as Cory's driver. But for most people, their businesses come first.
They sent code enforcement down to Bergen Street to basically threaten folks and just say, if you put a Cory Booker sign, you'll face the consequences. And having code enforcement deliver that message, was pretty persuasive.
Over the next few weeks, I meet a policeman whose support for Booker got him transferred to night patrol in a dangerous neighborhood. A minister whose church was threatened by code enforcement after he criticized the mayor. A woman who fears she'll lose her public housing if she hangs a Booker sign in her window.
People have children. People have houses and mortgages and rent to pay and food to buy. Why are you firing somebody? Because they don't want to vote for you. That's their God-given right. They're born in America, you have the right to vote for who you want to. That's what it's all about. And when you take that from somebody and the Lord doesn't stand up for it and do something about it, there's something seriously wrong.
Just on the schedule, like tonight's fundraiser, it shouldn't have Jimmy Wright's name on it. Because if somebody picks this up, guy, Jimmy Wright's ass is going to be at cell block 24 hours a day. These are like people who are putting a lot on the line for us, that if Sharp has any idea, you know, he will crush these people.
Drug dealers don't own this city, we do.
Yeah, exactly like that. Drug dealers don't own this city, we do.
Drug dealers don't own this city, we do.
The polls show that Cory's biggest challenge is name recognition. So he's outside his building, trying to create a Booker brand.
I thought we were just bringing a camcorder out.
Junior! Can I have a cup of coffee, Junior? Another day. Okay, we got a shot here, Junior. Tell me how I do. I'm Cory Booker. It's time that we put. I apologize.
It's okay, let me come forward for a second.
I apologize. I'm Cory Booker, and I'm butt cold.
Okay, here we go. Quiet, please.
Real jobs, real safety, real progress. Our mayor, Sharp James, the real deal.
Cory. Sharp James is pushing his story as well. He grew up in Newark, served in the Army, and taught gym at a local high school. In 1970, at the age of 34, he was elected to the city council. He served 16 years, and then, running as a reformer, he was elected mayor. But in the 90s, corruption scandals plagued his office, taking down his closest aides, including his chief of police and his chief of staff, who was caught with bags of money under the floorboards. Sharp weathered the storm, though. He was funny and an energetic booster for the city. New buildings went up in the downtown, a performing arts center, a minor league baseball stadium. And Sharp James gained a reputation for creating a renaissance in Newark.
Cheers when they came down, because what will go up will be part of a new Newark and a new America and new dreams and new hopes.
What this city is doing is destroying homes for low-income people and displacing them and not providing places for them to live. In the last 10 years, 10,200 homes have been destroyed and only 2,500 homes have been replaced.
Cory Booker does not have a vested interest in this city. He doesn't own anything. He's a Johnny-come-lately. He doesn't understand the politics of this town. And just because you come in as some golden boy and you happen to get lucky and win one election does not mean that you've got a handle on what's going on. People that live here and have a vested interest in our city know that Sharp James is doing a great job for this city.
Sharp James trying to get credit for something that he ain't even do. He ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? If he was right here, I told him in his face.
Okay, just don't blame this on Sharp, because I know what's already here. I don't know what I'm getting if Booker gets in.
Why you want to blame it on Sharp? Cory's the councilman. If he can do it,
Cory goes jogging right in our neighborhoods. Sharp James, Sharp James, what does Sharp James do? What does Sharp James do? Sharp, 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 Sharp,
Yes, Mr. Simon. This is Carolyn Booker. I'm the mother of Cory Booker.
Cory's parents have come to town for the rest of the campaign.
The reason for my call is simply to thank you for supporting Cory's campaign.
I knew they had raised Cory and his brother in a comfortable suburb, so I was a little surprised when I learned more about them.
My dad was born very poor to a single parent in the South. You know, he had a tough childhood. I mean, you have to imagine what it was like in '36 to be born when they called it an illegitimate child. really a self-made man, and really what I'm doing is as a result of my parents' guidance.
A lot of people ask me, who is this boy with a Rhodes Scholarship and a Yale Law Degree? Why would he want to come to Newark? My father grew up in North Carolina. He still has physical scars on his body from being caught by the White Citizens Council in that town on the wrong side of town after dark. In '61, when the sit-in movement started in North Carolina, my father was one of the first people on the stools being kicked, bruised ribs, being hurt, basically in the sit-in movement. Back in the later '60s, my parents were the first African Americans in the entire northeastern seaboard to be hired by IBM. My mom was first, my dad soon became the first black salesman, has these awful stories about making sales calls on people and ripping up his car and saying, you tell IBM not to send any more nigger salesmen out here. My parents told me to he who much is given, much is expected, and they expected their two children to be a part of the struggle. And I believe in my heart that this Newark, New Jersey, and cities like it are the frontiers of the American dream, and that we as African Americans, and we as Americans, period, have an obligation to fight for our communities. And that's why I'm doing this. Hello, everybody! Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. Unfortunately, I'm running today, but I had to come through here and spread some love. We have some gifts to give out to everybody down here.
In Newark, giving stuff away is a big part of campaigning. There's a saying, if you feed 'em, you can lead 'em. And candidates host chicken dinners, charter buses to Atlantic City, give away flowers or perfume, pot holders, or tickets to concerts or the circus. And it matters. One woman told me she wasn't going to vote for Cory because the Mother's Day card that his office sent out last year was cheap looking compared to Sharp's. In his first few years in office, Cory tried to defy that system, but he's been getting more realistic.
So we'll set it.
Sharp's is this
Sharp's is this Saturday.
What is he doing?
He's doing bingo and breakfast.
Bingo and breakfast.
Sausage, home fries, eggs. Our mistake in the last appearances has not been to publicize that there's going to be major food.
The food, no brainer. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's just.
And then entertainment, you're going to. Okay.
I'd rather win and owe $100,000
right.
than lose for not spending $100,000.
Okay.
And the check there, is that from you or is that from?
Every day, Cory spends an hour or two shaking down his friends, and their friends, and their friends. People he knows from Stanford and Yale, from Newark and New York and California. To be competitive, they think they'll have to raise $15,000 every single day.
Show me the money. Where's the money?
Okay, and the check is made out to friends of Cory Booker.
In our generation, I see that willingness to make a sacrifice, to make this nation what it has not been yet, to make it real for every single one of its citizens. The things that we brag about, buildings in the downtown, they are symbols of a renaissance, but not the substance of a renaissance. David did beat Goliath. Okay? Ali did upset George Foreman. And on May 14th, we, not me, we are gonna upset Sharp James.
It's Monday morning, and everyone's talking about sights.
We're the only nude dancing club in Newark.
Last night, a vice raid looking for drugs and prostitution discovered a 16-year-old stripper working at the club. They also found a young man in line outside named Jermaine James.
The police department, knowing who Jermaine James was, told the mayor. The mayor, what I understand, told the police department to issue a press release.
Whoa. Uh-oh.
Whoa. Jermaine James turns out to be Cory Booker's chief of staff.
I picked up my phone that morning, I must have had like 20 messages. just frustrated supporters, just angry. What do we say? You know, how do we move forward?
I
got something for you. I gotta go off.
Everybody wants to go off camera.
I'll be down.
It's a major blow to the campaign, and they won't let me film the meeting where they figure out what to do. Sharp James embellishes the story a bit, and then hammers them with it all over the city.
If any member of my staff frequent a place of prostitution and narcotics that's illegal in the city of Newark, where 14-year-olds are doing live sex act, they don't have to touch them. I'm still gonna fire them.
Sharp did a mass mailing on it. Yeah. Everybody got it yesterday.
What are you gonna do?
Don't let it take over the campaign. We stick to the issues. We don't talk about it.
Cory is a vegetarian who doesn't drink or smoke and rarely even swears. But one of the risks of running a choir boy campaign is that if you stumble, you fall hard. As I've spent more time in this city, I've found that there's a side of Newark that most outsiders don't know about. A Newark of homes with lawns, of parks and middle-class neighborhoods. And many Newarkers see Sharp's improvements downtown as an expansion of that.
He's changed this town. He's changed the perception of this town. And if you walk around this town, if you're from here, you can see it.
It's gotten better every day over the last 16 years, and it's going to get better tomorrow, the next day after that. It's getting better.
It's clear that the Newark of today is not the Newark of 1986, when Sharp James took office. But it's almost as if there are two Newarks. One, where thousands of people struggle with relentless poverty and crime and poor schools year after year. And another, where a proud phoenix is rising from the ashes. The question is, when voters go to the polls in less than 2 months, which Newark will they be thinking of? I've continued calling and faxing the mayor's office, asking to spend time with him, but no luck. So I go to one of his public appearances in the Portuguese district.
Everybody, let's welcome our mayor, the great mayor of the city of Newark, the Honorable Sharp James.
Socks is out, man. Hey, partner. That's my date there. How are you?
I get tired of people coming to Newark, moving their family here, and then say, you know, Newark is so terrible, you're gonna die, your sky gonna fall out, you're gonna go in quicksand. But they move here, why? A political agenda. A political agenda. Stop that nonsense. We've been here doing bad times, good times, and we're gonna stay here doing improved time. We ain't going nowhere. And we don't need no carpetbaggers coming in here telling us how bad we are. Stay out. It's a great day. Don't let me get started. Boy, I drank some of that wine. They gave me some Porto wine. I'm in trouble now. Where is it? They took it away from me. I'm quit. Bessie and Gail told me stop talking how the wine beginning to work. That Porto wine is too much. Thank you very much.
Let's go, Bow Wow.
Man, look at these guys.
We're taking pictures for you, man.
Making a documentary. We spoke before about it. I'd love to.
That's what Cory Booker, man.
Kill your film. You film everybody else but him.
No, we don't want you filming. I don't want you on putting me on camera.
Okay. It's not about Cory.
Now, next time we'll take your camera.
We're a public press event. It's a public
Don't
event.
you just film now, but you're not gonna film him.
He's
He
the
don't
mayor
want
of
you.
the city.
He don't want
I'm
you
allowed
on
to film him.
You're not gonna film him.
He's the mayor of the city, and I'm allowed to film him.
You're not gonna film him.
Larry,
Let go of my camera. Let go of my camera. Don't do that. There's a lot of press here.
I'm just asking you
Don't
not
do that.
to film him.
I'm allowed to press. I'm allowed
He
to
don't wanna
film
be
him.
on your
It
film.
doesn't matter. He's the mayor of the city.
what are you doing?
I've been having a lot of trouble.
Okay. I'm here still? Those guys?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I've had like my camera grabbed by security people and stuff like that.
And I will try to talk to him.
Okay.
I mean, I've had to, I mean, it's not just you, I've had to, you know, with the Ledger and the Times, it's like, I've had to go like, And the problem is I don't really know him too well. I wish I'd started up here sooner so I could have gotten to work up a rapport and it's just, you know, it's just idiotic. And it's also counterproductive. I mean, it makes us look terrible, I think. I mean, and the rest of the press sees it, you know. It makes us look paranoid too. Right. But these guys, I tell you, they are. I can't believe it. They got this thing about the press. You see, it's like a conspiracy. It's just, it's been so frustrating. So I do have to try to grab him and talk to him.
Experienced leadership. We don't want nobody practicing on Newark. We need someone that knows what's going on in Newark. We need someone that's been here since 1967 rise. We need experienced leadership. Experienced leadership.
That happened Saturday night after 10:30. We had the police come out and they dusted the whole window for fingerprints.
I haven't seen the damage.
Well, the first thing that happened was Edie reached for the telephone, and there was no telephone. She felt the draft, walked back here, and saw everything opened up, and she realized we had been broken into and robbed. So they took the radio, 2 telephones were ripped off the wall. But what really bothered us is they got 2 books worth of information, 2 districts, and they know who's a Booker, who's a James, who's undecided, all that stuff. And that's, you know, that's valuable, sensitive information. We have it backed up, but still they have it now. Yeah, one of the police officers actually suggested that we have the whole trailer swept for listening devices. From what I understand, we have somebody coming in to do that now.
Sweeping for bugs seemed a bit paranoid to me, until someone told me that when Cory was first elected, it was discovered that his home phone was being tapped by the police. The police insisted it was an honest mistake, but it still lingers in the back of people's minds. This morning, Sites is back in the news.
I had heard that Sharp James said in his re-election speech that he would fire anyone in his staff who had went to places of ill repute, I think he called it. And, you know, and he was basically talking about Sites.
I think we have to send a message to our young people, to our children, to our seniors. It is wrong to frequent houses of ill repute.
You gotta have a lot of balls to stand up with the governor, state senators, congressmen sitting behind you and make it sound as though you've never been to a place that you know you've been to. Mayor Sharp James sat right there at a table, drinking Snapple, watching, you know, a dancer on stage dancing. He was here himself.
Were you in the club or not in the club? We are too smart to dignify that.
Newark Mayor Sharp James today refused to answer repeated questions about whether he visited a strip club. When a reporter asked him if that was true today, the mayor lashed out.
I just missed you. Who you think you yelling at? Who you think you yelling at? Who you think you yelling at? Hey, young man, who do you think you yelling at as a reporter? Who you think you yelling at? You better show some respect.
Mayor James says that the only time he went to the club was when police raided it.
Here, fellas, let me show you something here, man. You got the, it wasn't me.
In that club?
What?
He's saying he wasn't in that club?
Yeah, just read this.
But didn't you see him on Channel 11 that night?
Oh, when he got crazy?
When he got up there and said that he was in there, but to see what he could do about closing it down.
Sharp James made a speech at a barbecue he hosted for a housing project last night.
Oh, yeah, and he called Cory last night Babyface. Yeah. Babyface is a snake. Don't trust him. I was so mad I didn't know what in the world to do. Yeah.
He had them all food last night.
Republican, white Republican.
Yes, he did.
Oh, we've got.
You were there? Yeah, I live here.
You heard him say?
Yes. Well, that's what came out in the building today. White Republican. He gave that out last night to everybody.
Unbelievable.
They brush aside the Republican stuff, but the white comment stings. And what it means to be black is now becoming a major campaign issue out in the streets.
The division, I mean, and that's what I was telling people. They were saying, oh, Cory's light-skinned. Oh, he's almost white. I'm like, this is what has kept us all this time separated and divided amongst ourselves. The racist comments that were coming from the black people. An older lady walks up to my car and says, who are you voting for, the white man or the black man? I said, I'm voting for Cory Booker. You know, they're mad at Cory because his mother was able to give him a good education, because he wasn't raised in the projects. So what? You know, he's still black. If my mother had the opportunity to raise me in a better environment and give me a good education, I'm sure she would have done that. You know, but you can't be mad at him because he's making it. You can't be mad at him because he has a vision. You know what I'm saying? You can't be mad at that. You know, you have to just say, you know what? Let's make it so all our children can be that way. Why play a hate on him because he's doing well? Stupid. It's just stupid. Really stupid.
Sharp is quoted calling Cory a faggot white boy and telling audiences that he takes money from the Ku Klux Klan. On the Today Show, he says that Cory, a Baptist, is actually Jewish.
He went to Stanford and he's Jewish. He tells a story about his graduation where he couldn't date a white girl.
He also says of Cory, you have to learn to be African American, and we don't have time to train you. And all of this is just when he's speaking on the record.
We ask our black children to get educated, and they do, and we call them white. That's sad. It's truly sad. And to believe that, it's not that Sharp did that. That's dirty, that's low. Sharp is a low individual. To them to believe it. And they talking about civil rights. These are people who've been through, some of them who've been through the 60s. That's a disgrace to Martin Luther King, to Malcolm X, to Medgar Evers, and anybody and everybody who worked like a demon to get us beyond that.
And this is an attempt, a really sad attempt, by Sharp James to racialize his campaign and ignore, distract people from what the real issues are: safety, security, economic empowerment, and good schools. The truth of the matter is I'm an African American who's benefited from a legacy of struggle in our country. I'm an African American who benefited from my parents' generation, who marched for me, who sat in for me, who literally bled that southern soil red for me. I have been told by my family never to forget where you came from and the struggles that got you to where you are. My grandfather, who passed away during this election, the day I got my diploma from Yale Law School, grabbed me by the arm and said, "Don't you ever forget that that diploma you're holding was paid for in the blood, sweat, and tears of your ancestors. And if you want to prove worthy of that struggle, then you must continue it. If you want to be proved worthy of that legacy, then you must roll up your sleeves and get to work." So we're gonna make a change for you, all right? Thanks, man. God bless you. My voice is shot.
Cory is spending more hours every day knocking on doors.
Oh, watch your head, watch your head. Don't hit your head. Oh, you hit your head. What's up, big man?
I'm going to go help mommy get a job so we can get out of here.
I hear you. Listen, Mommy, what we're gonna do is we're gonna definitely fight to help people get more employment.
We're going to win this campaign in the streets. We're not going to win this campaign on TV. We're not going to win this campaign on radio. We're going to win this campaign in the streets.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
The crowds at campaign events are getting bigger and bigger.
Well, it's time that we pull together. Black Newarker, white Newarker, Portuguese, Brazilian, Puerto Rican, old, young.
We need to be unified because in unity there is strength. There's an old African saying that says sticks in a bundle can't be broken.
the bigger the rally, the bigger the bill. And everything requires more fundraising.
You ain't seen this room? Let me show you this room. It's been described to me as the card room. Can you step in here, Mr. Booker? You step in, Mr. Booker. Can you imagine playing cards with 3 of your friends? In here? In here. Sure. Till the night's gone.
Sure, you want to play some cards?
Yeah.
Roll a little dice?
Yeah, right. The people in this town really have amazed me, and maybe you realize more than any other place the truth of what Martin Luther King said, that we are all caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a common garment of destiny, that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Jimmy?
Yes, sir.
There are rich people in this world.
They live in some very large houses, too.
I had to call when I flushed the toilet and it didn't make any noise.
They have it left. I'm sorry, this way.
I said, I gotta tell my girlfriend and tell her about this.
What did Job say? Naked I came into the world.
Naked I came into the world, and naked I shall leave.
Does your toilet make a sound?
I'm doing really well.
Hey, you see the total for today?
What was the total for today?
That's $64,000 for the day.
Pretty damn good.
Cory's fundraising effort has managed to surpass Sharp's. Their filings with the government show that each side has raised between $2.5 and $3 million, which should be a huge boost for Cory. It shows that he's a real competitor. But Sharp has managed to turn this advantage into a disadvantage. Everywhere he goes, he's saying that Cory has raised $10 million, not $3, and is trying to buy the election.
$10 million can buy a lot of votes. Why does Cory Booker, after 4 years in Newark, have $10 million? If money can buy an election, then it works. But what the people are saying in Newark is not for sale.
Booker can't buy this.
Not for sale.
Newark is not for sale. Newark is not for sale.
Well, Sharp has this amazing ability to tell a lie so many times that people believe that this is the truth. If the mayor of the city is saying this, you sort of put some veracity in it.
Even I began to wonder whether perhaps I was being spun by the Booker folks. So I confirmed by looking online. It's all public information on a government website.
So we don't have $10 million?
But it's not just a matter of how much money there is. It's also where it comes from. An anonymous flyer goes out, accusing Cory of conspiring with Jews to take over the city. Sharp tells reporters that Cory is propped up by white, right-wing investors.
Because of the extreme group, far white, right-wing Republican Party who was supporting him.
His commercials and speeches and mailings all push the message hard.
I'm a tool for the Republican Party. I confess it.
I thought you were a tool of the Jews.
I'm a tool of the Jews, the Republican Party in Afghanistan, the Taliban. I am a member of the KKK. I'm part of a CIA conspiracy.
Oh, you want to know what the newest one is? You know what the newest one is?
I'm gay.
There's a media conspiracy to elect Cory Booker.
I'm part of the media conspiracy.
You're listening to 98.7 KISS WRKS-FM, New York. And our guest candidate for mayor of the city of Newark, New Jersey, Cory Booker, he says he's a Democrat. No matter what some of these people are saying about him, including his opponent, Sharp James, this piece that we have here from the internet, the black commentator rips you a new booty.
Well, what is this dalliance with Republicans that, you know, of course, you say the word Republican and black voters are ready to, like, to run?
Well, let's just put it this way. I'm a Democrat. If there are some moderate Republicans who have chosen to support me, that's their prerogative. What my focus has been since I've been a young man is working to make sure the Democratic Party is as strong as it can be so that the needs of inner city communities are met. So I'm proud of my roots in the Democratic Party.
Well, I mean,
I'm tired, frankly, of Sharp James trying to cast this debate in terms of Republican and Democrat as opposed to what he should be casting in terms is why has his city had a poverty rate that's gone up? Why has his city had an unemployment rate that's gone up?
But do you think it's okay now to align yourself
with extremists or far-right people like J.C. Watts. I mean, you know...
Sir, I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Hold on a second.
I've never met J.C. Watts,
all right.
nor have I aligned myself
Listen, I
with
mean,
them.
you have had no sort of alliances with them in terms of the Republican handlers, anybody coming to you. I want to bring
These smear campaigns really concern me because I've never met J.C. Watts. I've never met a lot of these people he's talking about. I've been a lifelong Democrat, and suddenly here we are wasting time talking about Sharp James's accusations.
Here's the problem, though, Cory, and I think that people are confusing your broad-based support. I mean, I gather just from looking at the contributors and looking where the money's coming from, you're getting a broad base of support. And you know what, Cory? That scares people.
Well, let me tell you this. This is what is almost comical about this. The majority of Sharp James's supporters are developers and people that have city contracts. And the majority of those are people that don't live in the city of Newark. And the majority of those happen to be white. Many Republicans? Many of them are Republicans as well. So here's a man who is allowing our city, the most precious resources we have, our $600 million budget, 87% of those contracts are being taken by outsiders.
And we'll be right back with our guest, Cory Booker, a Democrat candidate for mayor of the city of Newark, New Jersey. After these messages, you're listening to the Weekly Review on Q.
I'm enjoying
My
it.
brother. I wasn't.
We knew you could handle it.
I wasn't.
I'll wake it up.
Listen, I wasn't
Before I
being
wasn't
facetious.
awake.
Look, I've given Cory a hard time because I had some questions, and I was suspicious about his associations. But I think that it's time for a change. Cory Booker, to me, represents the type of young leadership that Newark wants. I like his answers on the questions of police, what he's going to do with that. I like his answers on the question of education. I think he has bright headers. I think that's what Sharp James is afraid of.
Today, I'm endorsing Cory Booker for mayor of Newark because I believe he is Newark's best hope for the future. Cory represents the best of the Democratic Party, honored by both the DNC and the DLC, and asked to speak at the Democratic National Convention. So if anyone tells you Cory Booker is not a Democrat, they got a lot of people they got to argue with.
We're really tired of people lying to us and telling us, we're going to do this. If you elect me, I'm going to do this. And then you get in the office and you work part-time and you don't do what you say you're going to do. And then our streets still look like they look. And stolen cars and drugs. And we don't have what we need. We're tired.
I need your help, Ben. I need your help. All I ask you is to look at me and how I've led my fight.
Okay. See, I don't listen to that stuff because I'm not into politics and I haven't been in
Then
New Jersey that long.
give me 2
but
minutes.
they've been following you, and now they're disappointed at the fact and some of the things that you have promised that you have not done.
What specifically? What?
Okay, you said you lived in brick towers. There's no proof that you have lived in brick towers.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
I don't know.
Stop for a second. Stop for a second. Stop for a second. Hold on. Okay. I appreciate you bringing it and keeping it real with me about what you've heard out there and what people are saying, but I'm simply saying I'm asking you to look at my record. And if you want to right now, anybody who doesn't think I live in brick towers, come to my apartment, I'll show you my mess. I got dishes in the sink, I got dirty laundry on my floor. People say I'm tired of politicians lying to them. That's because we've had the same politicians there for 32 years. 32 years.
It's just sad that, we've been lied to for so long.
You have a question for me, brother? Okay, fire away.
Is you lying?
That crushes me there. That hurts. I mean, all that time you put in.
New numbers have just come in from the campaign's pollster.
Hey, Jeff, it's Van and Cory.
The poll shows the mayor still ahead, 41% to 33%.
Hello.
But that leaves 26% of Newark still undecided.
41-33, what does that mean? Well, is that good for him or bad for him?
Bad for him, but we have to make it fatal for him. Actually, Jeff, when you say it's almost, generally speaking, if this were just a normal race, when you say an incumbent at 41 is in extreme trouble, right? Yes.
So really big trouble.
But this isn't a normal race. how do we drive as favorable down? A negative attack, I think. Jeff? Yeah, negatives, right. Negatives will drive his numbers down, and they'll also drive our own down. And Cory, it's not going to be pretty.
It's a tricky balance. In the past, when Cory's ads have pointed to crime or failing schools, Sharp has spun them as an attack on the city itself. If they criticize the mayor directly, there's a risk of it backfiring.
I mean, the thing about Sharp James is that you have to remember is that he's 66 years old. 32 of those years, almost half his life, he spent in public office. And people have grown with him. People know him. People like him. He's a good cheerleader for the city.
One of the best basketball teams in America, Eastside High School.
People vote for Sharp because they like Sharp. I mean, Sharp James is their guy. I mean, the same thing happened in Washington, D.C. with Marion Barry. I mean, how does a guy who gets busted for what he was busted with get reelected? And essentially, people began to feel defensive about either folks from outside or other people going after somebody who they felt was their guy.
Is this going to damage? I mean, I had two seniors today tell me they were really respected the way I was running this campaign. You're not running a negative campaign like Sharp is, yada, yada, yada. So the only thing I want to make sure is we don't have a backlash as a result of this with a candidate who 70% of the people in the city say they like.
I care less than you do about how people are going to feel at the end. I'm more concerned about winning the election.
You know, Carl, I'm not going to lose this race because we're afraid to punch Sharp in the nose. I just think that there's a way to do it with dignity. Right. But you're still rolling up the sleeve and slugging this guy in the face. Right. But there's a way to do it with dignity.
Sharp James says he's the real deal. The truth is, Sharp James is getting really rich at the taxpayers' expense. While schools crumble and crime and drugs plague our streets, James has given himself a raise to over $200,000 a year. He's bought 2 vacation homes, a 46-foot yacht, and a Rolls Royce. The real deal? How about a great deal for Sharp James? After 16 years, it's time for a change.
We gonna vote for you, Sharp James!
Turn around, y'all. Turn around, y'all. Now ready? Get it.
This is unlike any election. This is unlike the elections I usually work on. Most elections I work on are like, you know, it's media, advertising, polling, all that kind of stuff, you know. And this really is more old-fashioned political machines. Like, you know, my parents would liken this to Boston when they were there. And you know what? With all the stuff that can go on in street-level politics up here, it's not, you know, it definitely is a throwback.
You know we're having a rally in the North Ward tonight?
Yeah, the flamboyant thing.
He's just closed the place down.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean you closed it down?
The place is closed for business. I go to the club down the street to try to move it from this place to the other place. The guy goes, listen, Pablo, I love you, but I'm too afraid to let Cory in here. He goes, you know, Pablo, you know how politics is. You know, if I let Cory in here, I'll have the police here tomorrow. You know, they've been laying off of me since I let the mayor put his signs up here. The police don't come anymore. Yep. You know, Sharp, that's what he does, man. He threatens everybody. Just paranoid. Totally paranoid. It's unbelievable.
It's this campaign of intimidation. It's not going to win for them. It's just not going to win for them.
Somebody put a threat in the email.
What'd they say?
You know, Cory Booker better watch out. I'm trying to get it.
Was it a physical threat?
Yeah.
The heat is being turned up even hotter on business owners, and some ask the campaign to come take back their Booker signs.
Think about it this way, if Cory wins, you don't have a problem.
But if he don't, I have a big problem.
Oh, yeah, but how's
you want to put the little one on Ann Street and we'll take the big one back? I know you guys aren't going to put it up your word, and I understand that. That's fine.
You know, people getting closed down, you know?
See, our only thing is we have city contracts. He told the police officers they're not allowed to go to any more Cory Booker fundraisers.
They're also being encouraged to donate money to the James campaign.
And this cop came down and was like, you know, since you have the contract for the city of Newark, you know.
I'll give you $500.
I said, yo, man, I can't afford it. It's $250. You don't understand. They'll do you in, man. They will do you in. There's no way around it.
See what they're doing, that they're
Yeah, no, I saw that.
Yeah, they're ripping down tons of our signs. They took 200 signs in the North Ward, lawn signs.
200?
200 lawn signs.
I know why, but you were there, because she wasn't there.
Tension is rising on the campaign, and it seems like as much effort as people were spending before on winning over voters, they're now spending just trying to keep the election honest.
I got a very interesting call, an anonymous call on my cell phone earlier this week, and this person told me that there are 3 machines in the East Ward that she believes are being tampered with. Okay, I asked her specifically what are the machines, and she said that I really can't tell you that because of the position that I'm in, they would know how you got that information. So I was inclined to think that she was calling from the Board of Elections.
Remember that this is not a debate. It's not an intellectual debate. It's not an academic debate. You will not win any points for the quality of your arguments, for the logic.
It's saying things that are going to resonate with the crowd.
Right. So you really want to think now of some good, snappy sound bites. Even though I know that sounds like, just memorize them and see if you can throw them in there.
Okay. Some of the document, like the tax rate, I want to be able to hit them on that. Sharp James's raised tax 100%. Raised it from da-da-da to da-da-da.
You don't even need da-da-da.
Don't da-da-da-da. Sharp
110%.
James raise it 110%. Because people, the thing about a debate is people believe what you say.
Right.
So you don't need to offer them much evidence.
Right.
Sharp James has raised taxes 100% versus Sharp James has raised taxes 100% from blah blah to blah blah.
I see what you're saying.
Right.
Just getting those numbers. Just in
What
case.
numbers?
What the tax rate was back in '96, what it is now, what an average family pays, what an average family pays now.
There's one chart.
Okay.
It's all on the same chart.
Okay.
Promise me you won't say that on the cable news.
I will not promise you I won't say that. I'm good at reading audiences and going
There's
with the flow.
you don't have an audience.
No, I'm good at going with the flow.
Okay, but hear me, because first of all, you have no audience. The audience is one camera.
No, when I need to think on my toes and I need to make a good comeback, if Sharp keeps going back to the things, I want to know my shit.
Okay.
But
just keep in mind.
You give me some good. You've given me some good things, get some pointers, but ultimately it's me out there. I have to go on my guts. And my
I know that, but one thing that I know is that if you roll out something that takes longer than a minute, it will cut you off, and then your point will be lost. Okay.
I understand the point.
Okay.
So just make sure I get that information.
He's gonna bop it. He's gonna try and do his thing. He's clearly gonna bop it.
I show up at the debate with my camera, but the police tell me I can't film. I put the camera in my bag, but continue recording audio.
I'm a black man, and I'm insulted that another black man would come up here and try to accuse me of being something other.
As soon as it ends, a fracas breaks out. The mayor accuses a Booker supporter of being a terrorist.
You frightened to be a terrorist. Give us identification, please.
They haul the man into another room.
I've been warning. You want to find out, check him out?
2 lawyers from the Booker campaign argue until he's released.
Why is he being lied? Everybody step back! Everybody step back!
The mayor lunges at the lawyers, but his supporters hold him back.
Come on.
A Booker supporter taunts him.
You got 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm gonna I'll see you on
See, carpetbaggers. See you in 2 weeks.
Don't see you on carpetbaggers.
Everyone pours out onto the sidewalk. As I take out my camera, a policeman from the mayor's security team comes at me.
Let go of my camera! close my camera. There's free press in America. This is
He's broken the microphone off of my camera while the mayor is whisked away. Reporters gather around.
I was trying to listen to what the mayor was saying, and I happened to have shades on, so when he commented about the shades, I took them off. So after I took them off, he said he's still a terrorist. Run a check on him, see who he is. I don't know him, he's not a Newark resident, so I pulled out my Newark welfare ID. So they said, where's your address? I said, I gave my address, right? My social security number was on there and everything, so that wasn't sufficient enough. They wanted to take me out to the side. I told them I was there with Cory Booker. That's when they really took me out. I was just sitting there. No, I was just sitting there. I was just sitting there. Because he said, this is what he saw. He saw the hat. You know what I'm saying? That's all it was. He saw the hat.
You saw how I comported myself, and I really hope, again, that you write the truth. This is how Cory behaved. This is how Sharp James behaved.
The Booker team is struggling to get the press to show more outrage. But so much of the reporting just treats the election like a sport. They call it rough-and-tumble politics, as if Newark were a crazy regime on the other side of the globe, rather than an American city, just 12 miles from Manhattan.
He's doing some things, I don't understand how he gets away with them. You couldn't do that in New York.
I realize that I've gotten a bit out of my league. If a cop will shove me and break my camera in broad daylight, with reporters around, what would happen if, as they taunted, I am caught out in the streets? 2 different reporters who cover Newark take me aside and tell me to be very careful. I ask one Booker aide if this is serious, if I should be worried, or is it really just rough-and-tumble politics? He tells me that the night before last, his front door was smashed in, and now he's carrying a gun in his car.
I have not been sleeping that easily the last week or two. So sometimes I'll spring up at 5 o'clock in the morning and can't get back to sleep. At City Hall, and me and Mayor Sharp James. He stopped shaking my hand months ago.
Good afternoon. I'm Christie, the United States Attorney for the District of New Jersey. Today I have directed attorneys, investigators, and other staff in my office to be prepared to serve as election observers on the Newark municipal election this Tuesday, May 14th.
I'm very happy that now we have every assurance, every possible assurance that this is going to be an election that's safe, fair, and a democracy will be served.
Let's continue the progress. Vote Sharp G. Vote for the right person.
Back to back, the Star-Ledger, New Jersey's largest newspaper, and the New York Times have endorsed Booker.
Awesome, awesome article.
And suddenly, this local election in a medium-sized city has become the center of American black politics.
This is the director Spike Lee asking you to do the right thing by voting for Cory Booker for Newark mayor this Tuesday, May 14th.
Well, the race for mayor in New Jersey's biggest city is heating up.
And on one side, you've got Mayor Sharp James.
He's facing the toughest challenge of his career from 32-year-old councilman Cory Booker.
This has clearly been the most exciting election in recent Newark.
Both candidates have alleged acts of intimidation and other shenanigans throughout this race.
The campaign, at times intense, has attracted the interest of the national media.
Sharp has been lobbying Bill Clinton for an endorsement, and he says in a speech that the former president will be coming to stump for him. But the next day, Clinton's office says he won't be taking sides. Sharp sends out a mailing featuring Clinton anyway that implies the endorsement without being explicit enough to get him in trouble.
How long ago was this picture anyways?
Oh, I don't know. It could have been 3 years ago.
Jesse Jackson comes to town and calls Cory a wolf in sheep's clothing.
This is not just about Newark now. This is about the nation. What you are beholding here is a new vision. That's what we're talking about here in Newark. I am
This is just the beginning for you, man. I'm serious.
Yeah, I appreciate it. But this is the real battle in America. This is the front lines of the American dream.
Front line.
But as people line up to get Cornel West to autograph his book on race relations in America, a sound truck rolls by.
You ain't black. You suspect, boy. You ain't black. You suspect, boy. We will be suspect.
I don't know, guy. I have no idea. Yeah, I'm in front of the TV right now waiting for their poll results.
There's an incredibly close race emerging in the election of the next mayor of Newark. According to a new Eyewitness News poll, incumbent mayor Sharp James now finds himself in a statistical dead heat.
We're in a fight. We're in a fight. It's only costing fucking $200,000 a week, but, you know.
That's a great poll for us. That is an awesome poll for us. That put everybody who's with Sharp right now has got to be thinking twice. Cory Booker!
How you doing, ladies? You sure? All right. Who are you gonna vote for mayor? Thank you. What's the card? Hey, how are you all doing? How you doing? Doing very well.
Hey, my name is Malcolm McDonald, and I just met Cory Booker, my best friend. If you don't believe me, smell my hands.
Smell your hands? What do you mean?
Yes, because I just touched Cory Booker.
And he's got a smell?
Mm-hmm.
What does he smell like?
And she loves him. He smells like the future.
Night before, the evening before the battle, and I feel good. I feel really good. We fought a great fight, and tomorrow's just execution and prayer. Life could change a lot for all of us come the end of the day. You know, who knows what the outcome can be. I could be completely wrong. I could have completely underestimated our enemy, and he could just come out and crush us or keep us into we can narrowly lose. My gut of guts tells me that we got this guy against the ropes and he's gonna go down tomorrow.
It's election day.
Next man, y'all.
Sharp James knows more than any other that you need to get out the vote on election day. In tight races like this, it could make the difference in the end. Just a couple minutes ago,
Each campaign has around 1,500 workers on the streets, dragging people out to vote, waving signs, and watching the polls for cheating. With the voter turnout that's expected, it works out to around 1 worker for every 15 votes. Some of the workers are volunteers, but many of them are paid. And both campaigns are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars today.
Verbal contract.
Since Sharp won't let me get close, I have another camera crew covering.
Now, this is Michael Tucker. How you doing? Michael, what's up? This is our Mike. How you doing, man? Mike is in charge of the free buses. Right. All these people come from Pennsylvania. We work with Mike every year.
Time
gonna tell the truth now. You're okay the camera.
You pick some of them.
We from Philadelphia. Don't have a clue. We're just here to help out.
Who's you showing us for? Oh yeah, James. James the real deal.
Why we came from Philly?
Yeah.
Well, they can come in here. The press can come here then again. I can stand in here while I talk to them again. This is a volunteer army against the paid army, and a volunteer army against the paid army. So I'm indebted to the people of Newark who are coming out, pouring out their love of their city, love of people. Volunteers, you can't pay volunteers. They're doing it because they love their city. They live here and they love their city.
Sharp James the real deal! Sharp James the real deal!
We're much better than we were before in the city. No, look at Newark.
He's in the community. He don't give a fuck about our community. Nothing. It belongs us to go beyond when we take it beyond.
Wilson Avenue School, one of the voting machines is allegedly broken. Poll workers are claiming that they have no emergency ballots to go to.
Problems are erupting all over the city. Lawyers and poll challengers race around putting out fires, but new ones spring up in their place.
All right, we just got another report that there's a power outage over there that they've disconnected the power for the building. So if you can get them over there, I greatly appreciate it.
Any attorneys over there?
Okay, thanks. All right, thanks.
30 districts?
U.S. Attorney's Office, finally getting back to me.
Intimidation, high intimidation in all the polling sites.
We've had machines broken, we've had levers broken, we've had district leaders bringing in people to vote. It's machine politics as usual.
At this polling station, Booker's campaign complained that elderly residents were bringing people into the polling booths with them.
Have you ever had a day when Mr. Booker didn't make accusations? Have you ever had a day when he didn't complain? Have you ever had a day where he didn't condemn everyone and everything to spend the media?
A new day is dawning in Newark. The sun is rising on new opportunities and new hopes. Today is a glorious day in our city.
But as the day goes on, the relative inexperience of Cory's operation starts to show.
They're saying at a lot of places we need more poll workers, but we don't have more bodies. You have bodies everywhere.
I don't know what to do, what I'm supposed to do. Kareem like, well, just go down and collect, please. What is my job? What am I supposed to be doing?
The police is down at 505 Mount Prospect ripping down our signs.
A federal judge has ordered the city government not to selectively take down any Booker signs. But around the city, the federal order is being ignored.
Trying to buy it.
It's not about how right you are, or how bright you are, it's how right you are.
That's right.
So Mayor Sharp James, go get it.
Cory Booker for mayor, yeah. Cory Booker for mayor, yeah. Cory Booker for mayor, yeah.
Moving proud, yes, Sharp James. He's our man.
At 8 o'clock, the polls close, and the counting begins.
Sure. Hang out. Okay.
38, 40, and 45.
One by one, each polling site reports its numbers.
I feel good. I really do feel very good. It's been all positive. It's been all positive. It's been all positive.
Cory surges ahead in the Latino and Portuguese districts.
What's the other wards look like?
But from the predominantly black districts, the results are very different.
Numbers!
110 of 161 districts are reporting so far. Shows James up by 800 votes. 800 votes. It's very, very close.
Hello? Yeah. Oh my God. And it's over?
Sharp James got 28,300 votes. Cory got 24,800.
We went upstairs to his apartment.
And how did he seem?
You know, strong man. He didn't want to show it because he had a lot of troops behind him. He didn't want to show his weakness. You know what I mean? He didn't show it. You know, but I knew. You know, it's gonna be better next time.
We who fought so hard have now slipped a small end of a larger wedge into the door of this political machine. Let us show our dignity and our love for the city of Newark by not giving up our principle, by not giving up our passion, by staying persistent in this cause and in this fight. I want all of you to know, who struggle so hard, who put your faith in me and my leadership, that I have not yet begun to fight. Thank you, Robert.
I've never had this experience in my life where something bad happened or against my expectations that didn't turn out to be better, for the better for some reason. You know, I in my mind I kept on thinking of a victory speech and ended up having to wing a concession speech. But I wanted everybody to hold hands, and I wanted to talk about the different people that were holding hands at that one moment and what those people were able to accomplish and achieve, and the power they were able to bring to bear. And it wasn't the power of individuals or one race or one color or even age groups. I mean, there were teenagers and kids that worked on the campaign to senior citizens. Feeling a bit, you know, embattled, but also feeling incredibly good. We fought one hell of a fight, Kim. I wish you could have known all the things that were going on. It was just phenomenal.
And I learned something. Real courage is like that famous poem by Maya Angelou, who says, "You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may ground me down in the very dirt, but like dust, still I rise."